SEC vote joined the Big Ten in their similar ruling against NFL players returning to college. In Atlanta last night, the Braves defeated the Dodgers 4-3. Tonight, they're back at it again at 7:15, first pitch right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and Mix 104.1. The Chicago Cubs set a franchise record on Tuesday by scoring their 30th unanswered run over 3 games, breaking the previous record of 29 over a 3-game stretch in 1969. The Cubs started the streak on Sunday after falling behind 2-0 in the early innings against the Seattle Mariners before rallying for a 19-2 win. Chicago then blanked the Diamondbacks 7-0 on Monday and jumped out to a 4-zip lead yesterday against the Diamondbacks. Keep it right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and catch Andy, Jacob, and me, Jim, today on The Drive at 4 o'clock.
Health Scope Magazine. Beautiful, informative, inspiring, uplifting, healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends. Health Scope Magazine. Get the latest on diet and fitness, hair and skincare, food and recipes, parenting, relationships, and more. Health Scope Magazine. Look for it now or visit healthscopemag.com. Health Scope Magazine. Healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends.
Text us at 423-749-1013 on the Warren and Griffin text line. Cleveland's personal injury attorneys.
I'm Jacob Mason.
I'm Jim Gum.
And I'm Andy Morris. Tune in to The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 weekdays from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardee's. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I'm Andy Morris along with Jim Gum, and I was kind of joking around coming into the show here that I'd like to start with the dadgum segment, except I'm going to take the reins on this one because, by the way, we are streaming, as everyone knows, on YouTube, on the WCLE YouTube page, but usually we're also streaming on Facebook. Maybe it's just me, but this is why I want to say dadgummit, because I'm going to the ESPN Cleveland 101.3 Facebook page, and our live stream is not popping up, and it's always on there.
Welcome to my world, dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
I'm make you mad and upset you, and you're like, doggone, what's going on? Doggone it, dadgummit, whatever.
I'm joining the party today and saying dadgummit to start the show, and real quick, I do want to say Jacob, obviously not here with us today. He and his family in our thoughts and prayers as they're laying his grandfather to rest today, and we spoke with him about that earlier in the week. And so thoughts and prayers to Jacob. If you know Jacob, let him know you love him. Great family. So
yeah, it seems like, we've lost, he lost his grandfather. Of course, he was a great Bradley Bear. We lost Kenny Hooper.
Sonny Hicks.
Yeah, Sonny Hicks. We lost Dolly Parton. And then today in Nepal and Tibet, we had that massive flooding and just hundreds and hundreds of people are missing there. So it's just bad stuff going on. So, and that's why we're doing this show, Andy, you can escape all of the bad stuff and try to, we'll talk a little sports, talk a little football and baseball and all that stuff. Try to get your mind off of all the negativity going on all around us.
Well, since you said we're trying to keep everyone's mind off that stuff, I'm going to announce another passing today.
No.
So poor timing on my end, but Tim Curry, the actor Tim Curry, he passed away today.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He'd been battling some health issues. One of his most famous roles, one of my all-time favorite movies, Home Alone.
Home Alone,
Lost in New York.
He's the one where the iron hit him in the forehead and left the iron.
No, that's not. That's one of the bad guys. Tim Curry was the hotel front desk clerk.
Oh, he was the hotel okay, I looked at him real quick. I knew I recognized him. I was thinking when you showed up, I thought he was one of the bad guys.
But yeah, such a good actor, Tim Curry. But yeah, too much loss going on, and that's always it's part of life, part of the process.
It is.
But that's something that we do want to make sure we acknowledge some people, and I do, because we had spoke about Kenny Hooper and just how phenomenal of a football player he was. But anyone that knew him, I know a lot of guys like yourself that grew up with him, that went to school with him, that have nothing but positive things to say about Kenny Hooper. Everyone knows how good of a football player was, but as a person, just such a kind person.
He never made he was one of those humble guys. He never thought he was better than anyone else. He would be the nicest guy to one of the most introverted people, or somebody of the best athletes. He treated everyone the same. I mean, he was just a super guy. And I'll tell you this, as great as a football player he was, in my estimation, he was as good, or if not maybe just slightly better in baseball than he was in football. Obviously,
you got to tell this story about one of the baseballs he hit over at Bradley.
Anyone that's been to a Bradley Central High School baseball game knows that beyond left field is the school. Okay, and it's a long ways from the left field fence. I saw Kenny Hooper hit a baseball. It one-hopped and hit that building. I said that ball went 400 feet.
So the building that you're referring to is what most of us know.
H building.
Most of us know as H Hall or H building.
Mm-hmm.
Automotive is over there, and a wood shop. And,
drafting.
Yeah, and I believe for a long time criminal justice was over there too. But to the distance between the
left field fence,
the wall there, which is now, if you've been to all three of our high school baseball stadiums, all three of them have had facelift after facelift, and they're top-notch facilities. But there's a big wall there at Bradley that serves as no longer a fence. There used to be a chain link fence back in the day.
I always call them a fence, but it's a wall.
But it's beautiful. But where that wall is, there's like a grassy area, a parking lot, then a road, then more parking lot. So for him to hit that baseball and on one hop hit the building is absolutely unreal. And it's funny because when we were talking about this off air the other day, my dad had told me the exact same story of Kenny doing that.
Oh my gosh, he hit that ball. An aluminum bat, especially back then, had a ting to it. It doesn't sound, nowadays they sound almost like wooden bats, but it had a ting. It was one of the loudest ding that you'd ever heard. He got all of it.
Hey, did we peak right there when Jim made that sound?
No, but Kenny Hooper was a great baseball player. He could run. Of course, everyone knows how fast he was, but he had a great arm. And just an outstanding baseball player. But, of course, he goes to Ole Miss. Listen, he was scouted by the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And he went to play for Steve Sloan at Ole Miss, which was...
And I remember when Bear Bryant came to Bradley Central High School to recruit Kenny Hooper. And, of course, it was a big deal for Bear Bryant coming onto campus. But he ended up going to Ole Miss. Now, Kenny was born in Mississippi. He moved to Cleveland when he was like 9 or 10 years old. And so, he always had an affinity towards the state of Mississippi. And when Bradley's own Steve Sloan was the head coach there, and he came talking to Kenny Hooper, that was an easy sell. And so Kenny ends up at Ole Miss. He loved that school, played football there for 4 years, got a good education. But no, he was a phenomenal football player, great baseball player. Hey, I saw him play a little basketball too. And if he'd have put his mind to it, he probably could have been a great basketball player. But he was pretty good anyway, just playing, like backyard basketball. So just a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, definitely gone too soon. Talk about it.
He just turned 65.
Yeah, talk about a great family. Know both of his kids fairly well, Sydney especially, and all the work she does for the Chattanooga Lookouts. Just a great person. So definitely close to us here at ESPN Cleveland 101.3. So wanted to take some time again to talk about Kenny Hooper. Unfortunately, lost him too soon. But yeah, Bradley Bear football fans, that's someone they're really proud of.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, tomorrow we're going to have Coach Damon Floyd, part of our Food City exclusive coaches interviews. He'll be on the drive with us tomorrow. But a treat today, we're going to have Matt Moody, Ooltewah head coach, coming on with us. So a couple guests over the next couple days when it pertains to high school football. And talk about a team that's hungry to get back or to get in the win column this season. Bradley, very tough loss up there against McMinn last week in a battle of a football game, you got to call it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game when Bradley made that comeback. It was McMinn jumped out to a 22-3 lead, and they were just dominant. And then all of a sudden, Bradley just kind of woke up, and they started playing really good football. McMinn, all the momentum was with the Bears. It was fourth down. McMinn had to punt to Bradley, and they did a fake punt, and they made it, and Bradley never got the ball back. So a gutsy, and some people have said it was the punter did it on his own. Some people have said that the coach gave him the option to do it.
From what I heard,
I don't know which of those stories is true. If he did it on his own, or the coach says if it's there you can take it. But I don't know.
From everything that I've heard from so many people, Coach Bo Cagle said, "Hey, listen, this is the scenario. If this is the scenario, you do your thing, and you can carry out the fake." From my complete understanding, everyone I've heard from said that was all punter. That was not a called by the coach.
And listen, I've heard both, so I don't know which one. I guess we need to get both.
I was about to say, maybe we can get Coach Cagle.
We need to get him and get the. But what great execution by the punters. Okay, so he made a great play.
I've got a bone to pick with Coach Cagle. We were at media days, high school football media days there at Life Care Centers of America, and Coach Cagle would have had you thinking that McMinn was going 0-10 this year.
All coaches do that.
No.
He may be a little bit more than others, but they all talk
this was
about.
To the point.
Well, we'll be lucky.
He said,
we're young.
"Listen, we only have about 30-something kids or 40 kids on our roster." I forget what number he said.
What was he said about the
our O-line's never played before.
About the weight room. He goes there. There's only like 3 cars out there because the rest are too young. Mom and Dad had to drop them off.
And we heard Coach Chris Brown of Cleveland last year say the same thing because their team was so young. Yeah. And in 1 week, we've kind of seen the growth of the Blue Raiders. But going back to McMinn, I'm telling you, Coach Cagle was downplaying the heck out of those guys. And I'm sitting there. There's some Fraziers that I recognize on that roster, a Marshall Goodner. There's some names, and I'm looking at them like, time out. Like, these guys are players. These guys go out and ball. But he made the point to specifically say, well, our offensive line has one returner and nobody else has ever played before. Like, I don't know if they've ever watched football on TV. I'm being facetious now, but he really downplayed McMinn, and they looked like a tough football team against Bradley. And, of course, as you said, they had to hold Bradley off in that second half. And how many times over the past decade or longer have we seen Damon Floyd teams that get the ball last possession and go win a football game? We've seen that happen a lot.
Listen, Gary and I were both convinced if Bradley got that ball back, that they were going to take it down and score and win that game. We were both, because the momentum had shifted significantly. And I was like, yeah, Bradley, they look like they know what's going on right now. They figured it out. And that fake, Bradley never got the ball back, so we'll never know what could have happened. But that's what makes football so good, is the decisions and execution of the play. And listen, you can call a great play, but the players have got to execute it. And the execution was done because the line on McMinn did a great job of sealing it off on the left side, so there was no Bradley guys could get to him until he got to the first down marker. While by the time they hit him, he'd already had 5 yards beyond the first down marker, and then of course they were able to run the clock out. But just a great execution by the offensive line, and of course the punter. Listen, it started off with a great snap right to him. Didn't have to go let down or to the side. It was right to him, so he was able to catch the ball and look around and see. He saw that opening over on the left side. He took off. And sure enough, he made it.
So is McMinn's punter? Is he a true punter, or is this a specialty player that can punt the football?
No, I think he's quarterback too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's an athlete.
So
he's
an
athlete.
You don't mind him taking the hit there on that play. You're not telling him, "Hey, slide" once you get the first down.
No, he was an athlete.
Yeah,
he was an athlete who also punts.
So I do want to ask you,
not to say that other punters aren't athletes, but generally. I'm going to leave it there.
Well, I'll say this. I tend to agree with you on some of that stuff. Now, being able to punt the football is an art of its own, but it's like a golfer. There's some guys that are golfers or even major league pitchers that aren't in the best physical condition, that couldn't go take over a football game.
Who was the big tub of goo? Who was that? Forster? Terry Forster played for the Braves. Wasn't he ever referred to as big tub of goo?
You've got me on that
by
one.
David Letterman or some not late night guy. We'll have to Google that.
Well, I think of guys like David Wells pitching.
Who's very similar body type. Yeah. Okay, I'll just leave it there.
But no, most of the time, like punting is its own art. But getting back to high school football, I want to ask you this too. I know we're a day early on Bradley Central football here, but just because you're on the call, I wasn't there. I was able to watch some on Mixed TV, and I also listened to you and Gary. You guys did a great job. But the Cook kid at quarterback, I've heard a lot of positive things about him. How was his game?
I thought he played solid. I think he can improve a little bit, but when he had time to throw, he could zip it.
And over the past couple of years, this is a young man who was thrown to the wolves, and that experience has been huge, though.
This is his team. He's not looking over his shoulder. He knows this is his team. But when he had time to throw, he was very good. Obviously, when you're under duress, any quarterback that's under duress is just going to be a little more he's going to be off.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. But when given time to throw, he can zip it. He's got a strong arm. He's got he's got what you call a live arm.
Yeah, and when I say he was thrown to the wolves, it was a scenario where he wasn't planned to be the starter. Guys, his brother being one of them, the year before, another quarterback, they go down with season-ending injuries, and it's kind of like Coach Floyd hands him the football. All right, your turn. You're up.
Yep.
And as a freshman, that's a tough spot to show up on Friday nights and run an offense. So if there's a guy that I think is poised and ready to go this year, it's Tyler Cook, correct?
Yeah, Cook. And
I always get him and his brother mixed up.
And I think the same thing at McGowan at Cleveland. These guys are veteran football players, and you can see they're in control of the offense. And obviously, you got to have help. I mean, that's why I said football is the ultimate team sport. You can be the greatest quarterback in the world, but if there's no one blocking for you, Andy, you can't be successful. It takes 11 guys to be successful. And I think both those guys, when given opportunity to sit and scan the field, they can zip it and they can get it to anybody. They can make every throw.
Hey, how about us unplanned talking high school football to open the show up? It's that time of year we get to do that stuff, and we get to make those decisions. So hope you guys are enjoying the drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk. Of course, we know up in Knoxville, they named a starting quarterback, Faison Brandon, the first starting quarterback, true freshman starting quarterback since 2004. Well, guess what they did up in Nashville today? They didn't
name a freshman.
They didn't name a freshman, but they did name a starter at quarterback. We're going to talk about that here on The Drive when we come back in just a minute.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's beautiful moments on an equally beautiful composite deck. Envision's products feature deep, non-repeating grains and distinct colors throughout each pour, offering a truly unique appearance unlike anything else on the market. Learn more and find inspiration for your project at Cleveland Plywood. Cleveland Plywood Company, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland.
Cityscope Magazine. Beautiful, engaging, uplifting, inspiring. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day. Featuring businesses, sports, entertainment, the arts, homes, fashion, food, and more. Experience the beauty of stunning photography. Enjoy the stories of local men and women, the success of coworkers and friends. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax. It's sure to make your day. See us online or subscribe at cityscopemag.com. Cityscopemag.com. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day.
Hi, I'm Pastor James Sears from Mount Olive Ministries. We understand that today, more than ever, that we live in, well, let's just say a fast-paced world with overcrowded schedules. With work weeks that can last up to 55 hours, kids' games, and long weekends, sometimes it's hard to fit everything you want to do in one week. But that doesn't mean that you have to miss out on church. No matter where you are or what's going on in your life, there's still a way for you to stay connected. We'd love to see you in person each week, but for those weekends when you can't, Mount Olive Ministries offers live streaming every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. through our website and Facebook account. You can still participate in worship, giving, and hearing the Word of God by tuning in. And if by some chance you can't watch at exactly 11 a.m., feel free to go back and view it anytime. You can check us out at mountolivecog.org or on Facebook by searching for Mount Olive Ministries. We look forward to you worshiping with us soon.
At First Horizon, we know if there's a win, there's a way. Our team is here to help every step of the way with personal, business, or private banking. Stop by and visit us at one of our locations in Cleveland or give us a call at 423-559-7660. At First Horizon, we look forward to finding a way.
At the Bridge at Ottawa, every day feels like a celebration. We're an all-inclusive community with gourmet meals served 3 times a day, an extensive activities calendar, and so much more. Our exceptional care team is here for you 24/7, ensuring you're always supported, comfortable, and well taken care of. The Bridge at Ottawa is not just a place to live, we're a place where you can thrive and live your best life. Call us today for a tour. We can't wait to welcome you to the family.
In Cleveland, we love local. Local food, local music, local pride. It's what makes this city ours. So when you need insurance, your agent should be local too. Your local Allstate agent, George Gray, knows this town. And because they're just down the road, they'll also get to know you. That means coverage tailored to your life and savings you didn't even know you qualified for. When you keep it local, it pays. So if you're in the market for insurance, contact your local Allstate agent, George Gray, today. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Potential savings vary. Allstate North America Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Check your wallet. Empty? Check your bills. Overdue? Check your stress level. Maxed? Now, check into cash. Check into Cash is your one-stop money shop, and we've got everything you need. Payday loans and flex line of credit options? Check. If you're approved, leave with cash in hand? Check. Quick in-store services like money orders and wire transfers? Oh yeah, check. And yes, we cash checks, all kinds, fast. Check that off your list. Visit checkintocash.com or check into a store to get started. We have locations in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Check in, cash out, and get on with life. Check into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit a store for details.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Whether you hurt yourself while playing sports, suffer an accident, or take a fall, injuries can happen unexpectedly. The emergency room isn't your only choice. The Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Urgent Care offers an alternative to the ER that just can't wait.
So before we went to break, we kind of teased a new starting quarterback at Vanderbilt. Of course, Diego Pavia, he's gone. The guy was a Heisman Trophy runner-up, by the way. Like, who is currently not on an NFL roster. Just kind of let that sink in for a second.
Well,
I know how you feel about him.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. A guy that was a Pro Bowl quarterback is second-string quarterback in Cleveland this year.
That's wild. That is wild.
It's true, but it's factual.
That is true. And
First off, he should not have been a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Should not have been.
But he was.
And
so.
I even questioned that at the time when he made that Pro Bowl team. And I understand why. They just, at this point, the Pro Bowl is nothing close.
It's laughable.
Yeah, it's nothing close to what it once was. And you're looking for bodies to fill those spots.
It's not all pro. It's Pro Bowl. There's a big difference.
Yes, exactly. But, hey, real quick, before we dive into Vanderbilt, could you let our listeners know about the guest we've got on here around 4:30?
Yeah, we're going to have a guy. His name is Brett Beard. He's the co-host of the Boomo Bug Show on WYTK 93.9, The Score in Florence, Alabama, and Huntsville, Alabama. So we're going to have him on, talk a little Alabama and Auburn and SEC overall. So we're going to have him on around 4:30.
I'm curious to see what he has to say about the Crimson Tide because
I am too.
I heard you and Jacob yesterday when Alabama came up, and you guys are much higher on Alabama than I am. I believe that in my preseason rankings, I had them one spot ahead of Tennessee. First of all, I think Tennessee's winning that football game this year. I truly do. By that time, I think Faison Brandon is going to be locked in, and that offense is going to be fully functional. I think the defense under Jim Knowles is going to be solid. The game's in Knoxville. So all I'm saying, dadgum, is I think the Volunteers are kind of having a turning of the tide, if you will, against the Crimson Tide.
A little play on words.
Little
right
play,
there.
little bit.
Love it. So we have a guy named Blaze as the starting quarterback. Listen,
That's right.
If you'd have told me that a quarterback named Blaze was going to be a starter, I would have named 137 schools before I named Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just doesn't give you that vibe that they're going to have a quarterback. His first name is Blaze, but there it is. Blaze Berlowitz is the starting quarterback for the Doors week 1 against Austin Peay. Obviously, Jared Curtis is there, and maybe Jared Curtis will become the starter at some point this season. But for right now, it's Blaze Berlowitz. Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's right. Vanderbilt senior Blaze Berlowitz named starting quarterback for the Doors in week 1 at least.
Week 1, yep.
And they're playing Austin Peay. And again, this is per Pete Thamel of ESPN. And as you referred to, Jared Curtis, 5-star. Everyone thought he was going to Georgia for a long time.
Yep.
He was going to be a Bulldog. Well, we've seen what Vandy's been able to do.
They've had a little.
And say that Jim just motioned at me.
They've got.
He did a little Johnny Manziel show me the money action there.
They've got money funneling into the athletic department at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got a lot of millionaires that are alums, and most of those guys give back to that school, and 99% of it was allocated toward academics. Now some of them are saying, let's put a little bit over here in the athletic department.
Because guess what? When you invest in something,
now you can do it.
You get a little bit of a return.
You
do.
You get a return on your investment.
You talk about that stadium, which I couldn't remember the name of the other day.
First Bank
Stadium there in Nashville. The facelift that place got, it is like an entirely different stadium. It is so nice now.
And it's perfect size. It's kind of like Northwestern's building a new stadium there, 35,000 seats. Vanderbilt Stadium, I think, holds like around 38,000, 39,000. For those schools, that's perfect size because you don't want, if it's too big, it could be sold to visiting fans. You want a home field advantage with a dominating fan base of yours. So the smaller you make the stadium, the more it's going to be on, at least the crowd is going to be mostly in favor of your team. So I think what Vanderbilt did is perfect for what they've got there.
Yeah, so before I elaborate on the stadium, Blaze Berlowitz, by the way, did follow Diego Pavia from New Mexico State to Vanderbilt. So one of his buddies obviously had the time to learn under him, learn this Vanderbilt offense. So I think that's a safe and predictable starter for week 1. Does that mean Jared Curtis at some point will not be the starter? I don't know the answer to that. I think if Vandy's in the mix and Berlowitz is doing his job, you don't change it.
True.
But I think if you're in the mix and you need a spark, maybe you've limped through a few victories potentially, then you're saying, hey, it's Jared Curtis time because this guy is the future. And again, like Faison Brandon, a guy that everyone's so high on the intangibles, then you don't want to handcuff yourself when you can just throw that guy in there and have him making big plays. But going back to Vanderbilt Stadium, the amount of people we've seen over years, you mentioned you don't want visiting fans coming in and packing your place out because you got all these extra seats. We've seen during the time period prior to head coach Clark Lee where Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, when they show up to your stadium,
Tennessee would take over that stadium.
Yeah, when they show up, it looks like an away game for Vanderbilt when you look in the seats.
Yeah, it was sad when you'd see Vandy versus Tennessee. Normally that's the last game of the year, and Vanderbilt sitting there with 2, maybe 3 wins. Tennessee's got 8, 9, 10 wins, and so you look at an aerial view of the stadium, it's like 90% orange. Or Alabama comes in there, it's all this crimson there. So, so Vanderbilt is smart not making their stadium too big. And it's got a home field advantage. If they have a winning season, you're going to see more Vandy fans. And they've made it more comfortable, like you said. All the renovations they've done. It's a much improved facility for sure.
Do you remember when Vanderbilt beat Alabama there in Nashville, and then they played on the Jumbotron? Nick Saban saying this is Vanderbilt's the only place in the SEC that doesn't have a home field advantage.
First time Vanderbilt, and still the only time Vanderbilt's ever beat the number one ranked team in the country, and that was a shocker. That wasn't last year; it was the year before last, but that was a shocker.
So, is Vanderbilt a player this year? Do you think they are?
That's hard to say if they're a player or not. I don't know if they are. Maybe they are.
They were a borderline SEC playoff team, and one of the best teams in the SEC last year. So I'm very, very curious to see what Vanderbilt team shows up this year with a new quarterback. Everyone says it was all Diego, but we're going to keep up with it. We're going to follow it.
Yeah. I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got Brett Beard from the co-host of the Boomo Bug Show from WYTK 93.9 The Score in Florence and Huntsville, Alabama. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
You ever get home and need 15 minutes just so you don't kill everyone? Yeah, that's not just a long day, man. That's low T talking. Maybe you've tried testosterone therapy before and it did jack squat. Optimize You is different. No cookie cutter plans, real labs, real results built around you. You could feel better in 90 days, just in time for the Vols kickoff. Call Optimize You Cleveland. Code MAKES99. Labs and a 1-hour consult for $99. Typically $149. Optimize You. Feel like yourself again.
The final days of Honda Cleveland's summer event are here, and the lowest prices of the season and those one-time offers are just about over. Drive a new 26 Civic Sport for $249 a month, or move up to a 26 Accord LX for only $229 a month. Civic $249 a month, Accord $229 a month. Plus no payments for 90 days. Only at Honda Cleveland. And Honda has earned KBB's Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted Brand, and Best Value Brand. Plus, Honda Cleveland's locally owned, unlike those other guys, by a family with deep, solid roots in our community. So don't miss your chance to get the best deals of the season from the best Honda dealer in the region. 36-month leases with $39.99 down plus tax, tag, title, dealer fees, and first month's payment. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends 9/8/26. See dealer for complete details. Honda Cleveland, your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, just 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Health Scope Magazine. Beautiful, informative, inspiring, uplifting, healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends. Health Scope Magazine. Get the latest on diet and fitness, hair and skincare, food and recipes, parenting, relationships, and more. Health Scope Magazine. Look for it now or visit healthscopemag.com. Health Scope Magazine. Healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our urgent ortho walk-in clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Hey y'all, this is Alfonso, General Manager over at Crown Cleveland. Please visit us online to see our entire used car inventory, all different makes and models, all different budget levels. Please give us an opportunity. Google Crown Cleveland.
Text us at 423-749-1013 on the Warren and Griffin text line. Cleveland's personal injury attorneys.
Men, when it comes to your health, don't cut corners. At Tennessee Valley Urology Center, they do men's health the right way. From prostate cancer screening and ED treatment to testosterone therapy and vasectomies. Their board-certified urologists provide expert care that's personal, not pushy. TNValleyurology.com. Book your appointment today.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive. Joining us right now on the Volunteer Redipest phone line is Brett Beard, co-host of the Boomo Bug Show on WYTK 93.9 The Score in Florence and Huntsville, Alabama. How you doing this afternoon, Brett?
Jim, I'm doing great, bud, and I'm like all of your listeners. After another day of listening to Lane Kiffin and NCAA and the SEC getting after rogue coaches and players, I believe everybody is ready for week 0, and I can assure you they're ready for week 1.
Man, you come out swinging, man. Hey, Brett, the one thing I don't know about you is, like, I've been on your show. Gosh, I don't know how many years I've been a guest on your show. And by the way, they do a great show, the Boomo Bug Show. As a result of my publication, The Blitz, tell us a little bit about your background in sports and your background in radio.
I've been doing radio now. I tell people, when you've been in radio for 24 years, it's eternity. Most people with sports talk shows are about 5 to 10. I was, to make a long story short, was in the nonprofit arena. I was the alumni director at University of Alabama in Huntsville for 6 years, and then I was the president of Junior Achievement of Northern Alabama for nearly 15. So I was in the marketing fundraising segment, and I got burned out on fundraising and stayed out for about 6 months. And a friend of mine was running a radio station in downtown Huntsville and asked me if I would just come by and talk with him and see if I might be interested in doing a little sales and helping with some of the high school products they had. And I said yes. And 24 years later, Jim, here I am again. But I teamed up with Harold Bugg, who had been the sports director of the CBS affiliate in Huntsville. And I joke about this, but some of it's true. When your hair turns gray in TV, you're expendable. Well, he was. And he and I just met nearly, it was a God thing, and we talked a little bit and said, well, but why don't we just give this a try? And Jim, 24 later, we are still trying it.
Well, you do a great job. So let's talk a little football. So we talked about this yesterday. Alabama, at least in our area, Brett, they've been flying under the radar as we head into the season. What do people here in the great state of Tennessee, what do we need to know and worry about Alabama? Because they named a dynamic quarterback as the starter for game 1. So I think Alabama is one of those teams where a little under the radar, they may be a little better than most people believe.
Jim, I never thought I'd say this. I think Alabama's one of the most underrated teams in the country. Now, that's coming off of 17 years of watching Nick Saban turn into the GOAT of all time in college football. Kalen DeBoer's made a lot of changes. A lot of even media in the state and nationally keep can't erase in their memory banks the loss to Indiana and Georgia at the end of the season. That was a very beat-up Alabama team, but Georgia deserved to win the game, and Indiana did too. Kalen DeBoer made some changes. He brought in Adrian Clem from USC to be the offensive line coach, and from everything we've gathered from our sources, the offensive line is much improved. They've had some injuries, as every team does, but they named Keelan Russell officially on Saturday. Alabama can win with both quarterbacks, Austin Mack and Keelan Russell, but it's kind of like the Tennessee situation. You've got more upside with Brandon.
Yeah.
You've got more upside with Russell. And the big question is, can the offensive line improve? I think that it already is. We'll see, again, once they start a week from Saturday with East Carolina. I think they're going to be able to run the ball much better. Daniel Hill's probably going to start. Kevin Riley. They've got about 5 backs. E.J. Crowell, and a lot of people in the SEC are going to know that name pretty soon. One of the top running backs nationally last year, a 5-star. I think the defense is going to be even better. They went out and got some transfers. Devin Tompkins from USC, Terrence Green from Oregon, all 6'6", 320 of him. Kingsley Bingley-Jones from Mississippi State. Now, they lost Jeremiah Beeman yesterday from another, literally the same ACL injury that set him back last year. But to answer your question, I think this is going to be a better team, but the offense is going to have some growing pains. I think they run the ball better. I think the defense is quite good. They get more of a pass rush. I think they've got the best secondary in the SEC. But, yeah, we've seen all of the 11 to 15 preseason rankings. Their schedule's tough in October, but every other team in the SEC is too. I think this is an Alabama team that, yes, it's hard to believe, Jim. It's underrated, but I think they're going to have – I think the floor is 8-4, 9-3, and the ceiling is going to be 10-2.
Yeah, that's a great take, Brett. By the way, this is Andy here, and I feel like you were kind of looking at my notes a little bit with some of the stuff that you were spitting off there, because I did want to ask specifically Keelan Russell. You made the comparison to Faison Brandon in terms of being a dual threat quarterback.
Yes.
If you could just kind of elaborate on what the word is on him coming out of the spring and of course a summer of getting more comfortable, only a sophomore, getting more comfortable in this offense.
I think Russell, the big advantage are the RPOs. And listen, he can I've been asked ad nauseum nearly every day about can Alabama run the ball more effectively. And I think they can, that they've got better running backs who's got better vision, better speed. A.K. Deere out of Mississippi was literally the best running back in summer camp, and he got hurt and is going to be out for at least a month. But Russell, to me, has got the it factor. And I know you and I and Jim, and he tried to describe what the it factor is to our listeners from time to time. It's instinct. It's when a play breaks down, the improvisation, talent that this kid has got. I think he's more accurate. Now, Ty Simpson was better pre-snap, and we've already seen that in the NFL, and particularly his first game. But he's got a lot of things going for him. Now, again, he's going to make some mistakes. He's throwing an interception in both of the scrimmages, but you expect that. This guy is going to be he will have probably, and particularly early, one interception a game, and if the protection is there and he's got time, Alabama has got some good receivers, not as much depth as they've had in the past. But from what we hear, he's more accurate than Ty Simpson on the deep ball.
Wow.
But the RPO and the improvisation is his strong suit. When the play breaks down, he can make pretty quick decisions, and when he takes off, again, he's got speed, agility, and he's just so elusive, he's hard to bring down.
I want to talk a little bit about Kalen DeBoer. If I make this statement, you tell me if it's true or false. Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat. Is that true or false statement?
Well, he just signed a contract extension in his buyout. It's $15 million. So I would say that no, that's an easy narrative nationally for the simple reason he's following the best coach in the history of college football. And it's amazing, guys. Again, Alabama laid an egg against Florida State to begin the season. What did they do after that? They win 7 consecutive games against 4 top-ranked teams and top 25 teams. They win 10 out of 11 games. They lost the Oklahoma game in Tuscaloosa out of special teams, and they committed 3 turnovers. Now, there's no way to rationalize getting beat by Georgia in Atlanta, and I know the injuries were a problem, but Georgia just won the line of scrimmage, and Indiana just beat up Alabama in the second half of the Rose Bowl. Is he in trouble now? If the bottom fell out and they went 6-6, he may be, but I do not see him being in any trouble at all this year. Again, he's got to continue to win, making the playoffs again and making the run there. But, Jim, to answer your question, I know there's going to be grumbling because Alabama fans are spoiled rotten over 17 years of near perfection with Nick Saban.
They expect to win. At the end of the day, they expect to win.
Well, believe me, I've been following this program since the early 60s with Bear Brunswick and Saban. But is he on the hot seat this year? I would say no.
Yeah, you mentioned that buyout, and that's one thing that I look at. They restructured the deal a little bit over the offseason with him, and I think it works in both ways. I think it gives him the comfort, the way they were able to work it out of the extension, as well as Alabama the comfort that, hey, if things do go south, we now have a little bit better avenue, a better path to buy him out of his contract. So at the end of the day, I completely agree with you. I think he's a great coach. I think it's hard to follow a legend wherever you're at.
Yes.
But there is going to be a little warmth to the seat just because of that. You mentioned Florida State, September 19th, taking on the Seminoles. How big of a game is that as far as just getting that one back if you're Kalen DeBoer?
Well, he's got to win that game. Obviously, East Carolina, and they've got a 27-year-old quarterback and a very experienced team. Everybody's wondering about Kentucky the next week with Will Stein, but that's the one game that Alabama needs to win, frankly, 42-10. And from everything we hear out of Florida State, our Florida sources keep telling us there is no buzz whatsoever in Tallahassee for Florida State, but yeah, there's no question. Alabama's had that game circled. And most people look at the schedule, guys, and they think Alabama will be 5-0 going into Georgia. And I would agree with that. But, Andy, there's no question Alabama fans will not be happy unless that's about a 42-10 result.
Hey, Brett, man, we could sit here and talk all day, but, man, we're up against the break. We will catch up with you later on. How's that?
That would be great. Certainly enjoyed the conversation, guys. Have a great show.
Thank you, man. Brett Beard, co-host of the Boomo Bug Show on WYTK 93.9, The Score in Florence and Huntsville, Alabama. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a little bit more college football stuff, and we've got some baseball news we want to get to as well. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Every year, summer ends and the kids go back to school. This year, I'm going back too, at My Computer Career. They'll help me get the skills and certifications that can get me noticed by top employers in months, not years. Now I'm on a fast track to a high-demand IT career where the rewards can finally match my value. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. It's never too late to go back to school.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At Chattanooga Exteriors, we provide effective, high-quality design solutions in an ethical manner to the Cleveland, Tennessee area using only superior products.
Visit us at ChattanoogaExteriors.com or call us at 423-805-3800.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Chattanooga, thank you for voting Alon Planning Partners the #1 investment advisory firm. We're honored to serve you, helping families plan for retirement, invest wisely, and live with peace of mind. Visit us anytime at alonplanning.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, a SEC-registered investment advisor. The Best of the Best contest is open to and voted on by the general public. A Best of award does not imply any specific level of investment expertise or skill.
Cityscope Magazine. Beautiful, engaging, uplifting, inspiring. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day. Featuring businesses, sports, entertainment, the arts, homes, fashion, food, and more. Experience the beauty of stunning photography. Enjoy the stories of local men and women, the success of coworkers and friends. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax. It's sure to make your day. See us online or subscribe at cityscopemag.com. Cityscopemag.com. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day.
For decades, Best Buy Metals has been shaping more than metal. We've been building strength, one roof, one wall, one community at a time. This isn't just roofing and siding, it's steel formed with purpose, made to withstand difficult storms, because what we make doesn't just cover buildings, it protects what matters most. Get inspired today by visiting bestbymetalroof.com. Best Buy Metals, designed to inspire, made to protect, driven to serve.
Cleveland Collision Center, located on Water Level Highway, your locally owned and operated auto body shop, serving the community for 25 plus years. When you sustain damage to your vehicle, we will take care of all your needs and look forward to continuing to support the community. Call us at 423-472-9978. That's Cleveland Collision Center.
At Chattanooga Exteriors, we provide effective, high-quality design solutions in an ethical manner to the Cleveland, Tennessee area using only superior products.
Visit us at ChattanoogaExteriors.com or call us at 423-805-3800.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Hope everyone out there is having a good Wednesday afternoon. And Andy and I just having a good old chuckle in the break there.
We're no good without Slim Money Mason here to kind of reel us in, because I've pulled Jim so far over to the dark side that our commercial breaks could be its own show.
Or maybe the real Jim's coming out.
Maybe so.
Maybe that's it.
Man, great stuff last segment from Brett Baird of WYTK 93.9 The Score in Huntsville, Alabama, talking Crimson Tide. And I believe I said his name wrong. Brett Beard, right?
Yeah, it's one of the two.
One of the two.
Baird or Beard. He'll answer. It's kind of like me. I'll answer. If you say Gwen, yeah, I'll answer to it.
Gotcha. But yeah,
I've got. Listen, this funny story. There's a friend of mine, and I haven't seen him. I don't even think he lives anymore. He used to.
You don't think he lives anymore?
I don't think he lives here.
Anymore. Okay.
He used to. He thought my last name was Conway, and no, my first. He thought my first name was Conway, and I just let it go. Hey, Conway. I'm like, how did he get that? But I just let it go.
That's so. Have you ever seen the Friends episode where Matthew Perry's character Chandler?
Yeah.
There's a guy in the office that thinks his name is something else. But then he finds out that Chandler actually was the reason why he didn't get a promotion, and he's in there just trashing Chandler Bing's office, and he's like, and he looks at him and says, "Come in here, help me trash his office." And so Chandler goes and trashes his own office. That's what that reminds me of. But the guy thought his name was something entirely different.
That's hilarious.
Great episode, not sports related.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
But Chandler Bing. big New York Knicks fan.
By the way, Chandler made that show what it was. His sarcasm.
It was great.
It was
awesome.
It
Unfortunately,
was awesome.
Matthew Perry. Yeah, we're talking too much death on this show today.
Yeah, he passed away about a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years ago. But so, are we doing some on this day in sports history?
Yeah,
Is that where we're at?
Let's do that.
Okay, you're
got us chuckling.
Yeah, you're fired up about this first one. So, on this day in sports history in 1930. Hack Wilson's NL record is the topic for this one. Chicago Cubs powerhouse Hack Wilson blasted his 44th home run of the season, breaking the National League record at the time previously held by Chuck Klein.
And I think he went on to hit 56 later on that year. But I told you this. I said, Andy, I want you to Google Hack Wilson's shoe size. This man, honest to God, he's a big, hulky guy. 5 foot, 5.5 to 6 size shoes.
Yeah, he's built. Looking at pictures of Hack Wilson, if you're able to, and you're at home and you're listening to the show, get on your phone, get on Google, and just Google Hack Wilson. He's built like a pit bull.
He is, but he had just little itty bitty feet, And it was one of the most ironic looking things. First time I ever saw a picture of him, that was the first time I thought, that doesn't look right. And I looked at, I found out later on that he had just little bitty feet.
Yeah, and I was going to make a height reference to Jacob, who's not here today, but I'm being nice to Jacob today because we love him and we're thinking about him. Hey, 1971, on this day in sports history, the NHL's first $1 million contract took place. Legendary Boston Bruin defenseman Bobby Orr made history signing a 5-year, $1 million deal, becoming the first $1 million contract recipient in the NHL.
You probably don't know this, but I'm a Boston Bruins fan. That is my favorite NHL team. Phil Esposito, which was a teammate.
No, Blue Jackets fan?
Nope, I'm a Boston Bruins fan. Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito were my two favorite players as a kid growing up. And, Bobby Orr was amazing. But, I love the Boston Bruins, man. Still to this day, that's who I root for.
Yeah, such a rich hockey tradition there in Boston with the Bruins. And I will say, one of the cleanest, nicest, sleekest, sharpest-looking uniforms.
The black and gold.
Love those sweaters.
Great,
those
man.
are nice
with
sweaters.
With the big B on them, yeah.
Of course, when I see that, I think Happy Gilmore as well because he wore that in the movie.
That's right.
Adam Sandler
That's
did.
exactly right, yeah.
So on this day in sports history in 1985, Baltimore Orioles Hall of Famer Eddie Murray completely dominated the game against the California Angels, racking up 9 RBIs in the contest.
And of course, he's one of the great switch hitters of all time. Obviously, him, Mickey Mantle, Chipper Jones. Those three are usually the top 3 switch hitters when it comes to power and everything.
Yes.
Pete Rose, switch hitter with the most hits. So, Eddie Murray was just a consistently good ball player.
On this day in sports history, hanging around the 80s for a minute, 1987, Milwaukee Brewers star Paul Molitor saw his impressive 39-game hit streak come to an end during a 10-inning game against the Cleveland Indians while he was stranded in the on-deck circle.
And you know what? And this is going to be, but I remember this, but I was actually rooting for his streak to be broken because I was afraid he was going to break Pete Rose's 44 game. Obviously, Joe DiMaggio's 56 is the
is that an unbreakable record, 56,
yes,
Joe DiMaggio?
I think it is.
So a few years ago, and I know we got to go to break, I was at the game that Dan Uggla's Atlanta Braves, which is still a record, longest hitting streak in Braves history, and I'm going to look it up to make sure I get this right, but I believe at 34 games, Uggla's was broke.
Yeah, those hitting streaks are hard to do, but 56 straight, that's not going to happen, man.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to go ahead and go to another commercial break. When we come back, going to talk some more on this day in sports history, and I don't know, I'm kind of feeling a dadgum segment coming up.
We got dadgum, and I've got a good stump, I guess just Andy today.
That's right. I might phone a friend. I might see if Jacob can get to the phone. We'll see. All that when we come back here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Introducing Wrangler Tough Light Jeans. The cowboy cuts you know and love. Now up to 20% lighter. Because lighter isn't a compromise. It's a better way to wear denim. Stay cool. Move with ease. Keep doing what you do. The durability you expect from Wrangler without the extra weight. Wrangler Tough Light. Tough jeans just got lighter.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
It's back to school. This is Professor John Davis at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, and this is Car Buying 101. What is the most important aspect of buying a new car? Is it A, the lowest price guaranteed, B, the best selection in Tennessee, C, up to $10,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value for your trade-in, or is it D, all of the above? The right answer is always Kia of Cleveland, where you get all of the above, up to $10,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value for any trade in any condition. Bad credit? Don't sweat it. Kia Cleveland has lenders that will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Plus, I'll beat any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, where buying a car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Max trade toward the purchase of select models. Price comparison for exact same in-stock vehicle. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready, or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time, only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for limited time at participating restaurants.
Hi, this is Jay and Brittany Hagee from Alon Planning Partners. What do you think your biggest expense in retirement will be? Healthcare? Housing cost? Inflation? This may come as a surprise, but it's actually taxes. Most every one of you listening has an IRA, a 401k, or some type of tax-qualified account, which means all of that money isn't yours. You have a partner in those accounts. It's Uncle Sam.
So the real question is, how do you keep more of your hard-earned savings in your pocket? We at Alon Planning Partners have a solution. We created a tax calculator just for you. Go to exchangemytaxbill.com. Again, visit exchangemytaxbill.com, input some basic information, and you'll see your tax liability through retirement. We can help you craft a plan that will give you peace of mind to and through your retirement years.
So visit exchangemytaxbill.com to take the next step. Again, exchangemytaxbill.com will help you craft a tax plan to help bring clarity to your financial future.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey Cleveland, this is Bradley Central coach Damon Floyd, and you are listening to The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Go Bears.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
From the Kia of Cleveland studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 1013. And back to our On This Day in Sports History. One of them I had to go ahead and omit because thanks to Jim Gum and my research, we decided, you know what, another inaccurate On This Day in Sports as far as records. But I'll go ahead and throw it out there. In 1998, Andrew Jones, at just 21 years old, did record a 20 home run and 20 stolen base season. It was not a record, by the way. Maybe at the time it was.
Cesar Cedeno held the record. He was with the Astros in the early 70s. But we looked it up. Veda Pinson in 1959 did it when he was 20 years old and 355 days. So I don't know, Andy. I mean, these records, listen, we can sit here and spew out all sorts of false information, and unless people are back checking us, we can get away with it, right?
Yeah,
but we back check ourselves.
We do. And not to say that every once in a while one doesn't sneak through and get on air, as Jim and I figured that out, a week ago? Or
that was
maybe 2 weeks ago?
The Ford Field, Three Rivers Stadium, a no-hitter thing,
And Jim can tell you how I was frustrated.
Well, and I
that
knew that Three Rivers opened in 1970, and I think it was in 1971 is when they threw the no hitter, and I'm like, well, if they did, it was at Three Rivers, not Forbes
wasn't it
Field.
Forbes?
Yeah,
no doubt. But on this day in sports history, going just a few years ago to 2024, Boston Red Sox catcher Danny Jansen became the first player in Major League history to play for both teams in the same game. I thought this one was amazing, Jim. He had been to bat for Toronto in June before the game was rained out, then was traded to Boston in July and played for the Red Sox when the game resumed.
So one rained out, it was paused. They basically paused the game. They picked it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's a cool stat.
I remember when this happened, and I was honestly kind of surprised that it hadn't happened prior to that.
Yeah. And I remember, gosh, I think it was named Joel Youngblood was the guy's name. He got a hit for two different teams on the same day. He got a hit for like the Mets in an afternoon game, got traded, got to the next stadium, and got a hit for his new team that night.
Yeah,
played in two different cities in one day. Got a base hit for two different teams. That's cool.
That's
stuff,
a heck of a day.
It is.
Looks really good on the back of the baseball card, I'd say.
It does. So I know you got some more stuff, but I got to ask you this, Andy.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got into this all day yesterday. I guess the adults have finally figured it out that you got to make rules to prevent some of the craziness that was going on in college football. Lane Kiffin was trying to get players, and listen, I don't think Lane Kiffin would have been alone, trying to get guys that have been cut by NFL teams, signing them to go to LSU and putting them in key positions to help them improve their football team. The Big Ten came out on Tuesday, said, no, that ain't happening in our league. And then yesterday, the SEC did the same thing.
And Notre Dame
said, we're doing it too.
Yeah, they followed suit.
And I think the ACC and Big 12, if they haven't already done it, I'm sure they're going to do it too.
Not unless Texas Tech has something to say about it.
But it just, the fact that we had to go down this road is absurd to me.
That's how we felt with the Sorsby situation, though. Did we not?
Yeah,
is it not the exact same thing where you're like, how is this not just common sense?
You know how I felt about Pavia. Then I'm like, well, his college clock didn't start till he started playing, big boy football. I'm like, wait a minute, junior college has always started your clock. And they got a judge say, no, the clock didn't start at junior college, even though the word college is in there. And so these you're going in front of these judges, and they're making these rulings, and it trumps all of the rules that we've been playing under for 100 years. And finally, it's a shame that you have to get statements made and rules put in place by major conferences to prevent absurdity from going on at the collegiate level, and which that would have been absurd to allow a guy that had played in a preseason game or at least been in camp and play in college
the same year. That's ridiculous.
That's kind of like going to the old pitching machine and you step in and it's throwing 90 and you get to see it, you get to feel it, you get to take some hacks at it, and then you step out of the cage and then you go back to the one that's throwing 70. You know what? I've been here. I've seen the 90 mile per hour fastball. I'm going to go back to 70 because I think I can kind of handle this a little bit better.
That.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
absurd.
We talk about common sense. One thing, this is a sports show, but even outside of sports, or for instance, in the WNBA where we kind of cross over the political and the sports world.
That happens on a daily basis.
Common sense is out the window. There is no common sense anymore. Yeah. Common sense doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. It's all the loopholes people can try to beat. I'm going to beat the system. I'll find a loophole. And supposedly, and here's the thing that's going on. Supposedly, this is the rumor. I haven't seen this being, factually being accurate. But supposedly, Lane Kiffin was telling these guys to do this stuff, we want you to come back, find a way that you can get back to LSU. We'll pay you more at LSU than you can make on a practice
on
squad,
a rookie contract.
So a lot of this, if that's the case, and I've heard that if they find out this is true, Lane Kiffin could find himself in some hot water.
Well, I almost, and I know, as much as I don't care for Lane Kiffin, we'd be lying to ourselves if we didn't acknowledge he's an intelligent guy. He really is. He's
a mad scientist.
He is. He's a little snaky.
A little?
But he's intelligent. I almost wonder if he kind of knew what was coming with this, and he says, hey, it's worth a shot, but at the same time, we're going to get this done and put this behind us. We won't have to worry about it anymore. I'll be the scapegoat. Like, I almost wonder if maybe there was some gamesmanship on his end.
I don't know, man.
Hey, let's give it a try. If it works for us, it doesn't, then it's not going to work for anyone else.
I'm sure some of this stuff's going to come out, and they're going to be able to prove, yes, he had something to do with this, or maybe he didn't. Maybe this is all, internet fodder that's not true. We'll have to wait and see, but I wouldn't put it past him. Let's just put it that way.
These individuals that made the decision to hire agents to enter the NFL draft that are in this scenario, someone advised them incorrectly in the first place.
They did.
Like, come back and prove your draft stock. Why did you even take a chance on losing out on these millions that you could get at a place like LSU or any other college for that matter? So the party of individuals that this is, if you want to use the word targeting, they're kind of deserving. They've made their own bed, if you will.
Yeah,
so I don't feel bad for him at all.
And I don't know if you were here when we talked about the fact that, when he left Ole Miss, they had an FBI guy go in there checking for bugs, see if he had bugged the offices.
Crazy.
There.
That is
Did you
crazy.
read that?
Yeah.
I mean, and the guy that said it, he goes, listen, you don't know Lane Kiffin like I do. And that tells me everything.
He's a snake.
He is a snake, man. But he's a winner. Listen, LSU and who was it? Was it Florida? Yeah, Florida and LSU were battling to see who could get this guy.
And so I was screaming at my phone as I was texting you and Jacob yesterday during the show, and you're talking about Kiffin, you're talking about LSU. LSU is the capital THE, the villain.
The villain.
Men's basketball. Women's basketball. Football. Like, I don't care. Like, LSU is. And Jacob finally said it, like, as much hatred as we had for Texas Tech with the Sorsby situation and, like, just their complete ignorance and, like, just blinders to what everybody else was saying and thinking, LSU's so much worse than that because they do it across the board. Like, I'm curious to see within the next 5 years how many people at LSU lose their jobs. And I'm talking administrative, coaching staff. I'm so curious to see how many people get fired or forced to step down due to poor decision making.
Elijah, aren't you an LSU fan? So LSU, I saw him over there. He's got a look on his face. He's gonna come over here and punch you in the nose.
He might whip me. I don't know.
Come over and punch in the nose.
It's the quiet ones you got to look out for. Elijah doesn't like to get on here and talk as much as Ephraim.
But listen.
But Elijah, just a simple head nod. Do you see where I'm coming from, and do you mildly agree? Mildly agrees.
Okay. So you got Will Wade, the men's
but if you win,
coach.
it makes up for it. If you're Lane Kiffin and you make the playoff this year, no one cares who you make mad.
But it's almost like a snowball effect there. You got Will Wade. He got some guy that had transferred there from St. John's. He'd been as playing in the pros as well. And obviously you got Lane Kiffin. And then Kim Mulkey. Did you hear what Kim Mulkey did?
Tell me, Jim.
Kim Mulkey, the ladies basketball coach there at LSU, last year she had a Ukrainian center, a girl like 6'4".
So I actually sent this to Jacob yesterday.
Okay.
I sent it to both of you, I think.
Okay. So she's 6'4". Her dad is in the military, fighting the Russians.
Yeah, currently fighting in a war against Russia.
Yeah, he's a Ukrainian military guy. So what does Kim Mulkey do? She signs a Russian player. I mean, the girl that's Ukrainian, she's like, I can't play with this girl. This is my dad's enemy. They're her people trying to kill my dad. I can't play with. Sometimes you got to read the room. You can't sign a Russian player if you got a Ukrainian player on your team.
Do you think this was a kill two birds with one stone type situation where Kim Mulkey says, hey, I'm getting a solid player, plus I'd like to kind of have this roster spot that this Ukrainian girl's taking. I don't know how good she was.
I don't know. But I'm like,
hey, let's pop one open for LSU. How about that?
Oh my
for
God.
Slim Money Mason and LSU, we'll crack open a sparkling water for you.
But it's been a week of negative stuff for LSU. Look, as we get closer to actual football, we'll I'm not going to say forget a lot of it. We'll forget a lot of it. We won't forget all of it. We'll forget some of this stuff. And there's going to be a time when LSU's playing somebody. We'll be pulling for LSU. We're going, I hope LSU beats this team.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So,
and as much as I talk crap about Lane Kiffin, at times, like, he's so entertaining and captivating, like you kind of pull for him because of it. But
I'll always say this. Had Lane Kiffin never left the University of Tennessee, had he stayed there, I believe that Tennessee would have won at least one national championship.
I think you're right.
As him being the head coach at UT.
Hey, just one more shot for Elijah here. Just one more jab to LSU. You went from Brian Kelly to Lane Kiffin. That's period. That's all I got to say. Just two great personal
all right, and let me ask you this.
personalities.
Step up from Brian Kelly
100%
to Lane Kiffin. There you go.
100%.
There you go.
Yeah.
It is an interesting – listen – as the day wears on, there's no bad stuff coming out of LSU.
Yeah,
hopefully this is the end of it, man.
There's no way.
You don't think,
not with that crew down there.
You don't think Lane Kiffin's going to try to file an injunction?
Someone's getting arrested at some point, or there's going to be some type of Spygate, or there's going to be something. There's going to be something. This is just the first chapter of a very long novel. That's all it is, Jim.
All right.
Who knew we were turning this into an LSU segment, by the way?
Well, I mean, it morphed into it. Listen, it's happened. Every school at some point dirt's been kicked on every school out there. Listen, as an Ohio State guy, it's happened to Ohio State multiple times, from Jim Tressel
tattoos
to Urban Meyer. People have kicked dirt on Ryan Day. I'm like this. The teams that are the most hated teams, you know what they all have in common? They're winners.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is right.
The vilified coaches, vilified programs.
Pete Carroll, USC.
They win, baby.
Reggie Bush.
They win. And that's why they're vilified, because a lot of people are envious.
Speaking of USC, they either villains for one reason or another. It may be in the legal world, maybe committing murder.
It's so funny.
Having to give away a Heisman Trophy.
I was talking to someone today about USC. I'm actually looking forward to the revival of the USC Notre Dame series kicking off the season.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be so unique because we've only seen USC and Notre Dame play either in October in South Bend or in December or late November in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And it's going to be so cool to watch them play opening weekend, and that'll be 2030.
2030.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, I think we need to go to break. Elijah's over here giving me dirty hand gestures, like just telling me where I can go, I guess. I don't know. He's frustrated LSU fan over here, so we've trashed him all segment. I'm just kidding. Elijah's a nice guy. He wouldn't do that to me. But you are listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. When we come back, going to talk some Atlanta Braves baseball, as they had a big night last night against the Los Angeles Dodgers and look to do the same again tonight. All that when we come right back.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready, or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time, only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
At Chattanooga Exteriors, we provide effective, high-quality design solutions in an ethical manner to the Cleveland, Tennessee area using only superior products.
Visit us at ChattanoogaExteriors.com or call us at 423-805-3800.
HealthScope Magazine. Beautiful, informative, inspiring, uplifting, healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends. HealthScope Magazine. Get the latest on diet and fitness, hair and skincare, food and recipes, parenting, relationships, and more. HealthScope Magazine. Look for it now or visit healthscopemag.com. HealthScope Magazine. Healthy lifestyles for women, family, and friends.
A Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC special announcement. Now, hear this, Cleveland and Bradley County. For the first time in our history, Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC is offering employee pricing on all new 2026 Chevy and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Plus, you get all eligible factory incentives that your choice qualifies for. Yes, you heard right. You pay what we pay. This isn't just certain models, it's all models of our new 2026 Chevrolets and GMCs in stock. Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Yukons, Equinox, Trax. It doesn't matter. Whatever you choose, you get the employee price. This one-time offer is only good through August 31st. So come in early for the best selection. Chevrolet, let's do it together. GMC, we are professional grade. Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC on North Lee Highway in Cleveland, where we say yes. Se habla Espanol. Your employee pricing is plus tax, tag, title, and dealer documentary fee. Sale ends August 31st.
Cleveland Tire Center is celebrating their 50th anniversary with big savings all this month on the best names in tires. Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, Cooper, and Michelin. Plus, big savings on Toyo. Cleveland Tire Center is celebrating the birthday, but you get the gifts. Plus, big savings in the service department. Cleveland Tire Center at 4699 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, where the name says it all for 50 years. Buckner and Feig Funeral Home and Cremation has reopened under the leadership of Ralph Buckner Jr., renewing commitment to affordable, dignified care. Buckner and Feig Funeral Home and Cremation is here to provide the families of Cleveland and Bradley County with the most affordable, compassionate, and dignified funeral services available, restoring trust, strengthening community ties, and setting a new standard for affordability without compromising dignity. Visit BucknerFike.com.
It's the talk of the town, ARC Chattanooga.
Thanks for starting your day with us here on ARC Chattanooga. More than just the facts, we talk effects.
Student online safety now taking center stage.
Real issues, real talk.
Local home prices still a major concern for families.
And just a little small talk.
With that summer heat comes a lot of humidity, and let me tell you, Dane, my hair has not been loving it.
Join the conversation with Meg Doyle and Dane Wormlinger. ARC Chattanooga. Weekday mornings at 8 on Fox Chattanooga.
At Chattanooga Exteriors, we provide effective, high-quality design solutions in an ethical manner to the Cleveland, Tennessee area using only superior products.
Visit us at ChattanoogaExteriors.com or call us at 423-805-3800.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Mayfield Dairy Chocolate Milks is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises, rich in calcium and vitamin D. Get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at numerous locations in our area. Find out more at MayfieldDairy.com.
Hey, Jim, I do want to say this. I wore my pink today in honor of Dolly Parton, who we lost at 80 years old yesterday. Such sad news. I know that specifically here in her home state of Tennessee, the amount of good that she did, on top of just being an excellent performer, musician, actress, whatever she tried to do. She was good at it, but she was an even better humanitarian, specifically with literacy with our children in the state of Tennessee. For years, my kids would receive the books, and we would read those books to our kids, and that's what she was trying to encourage, and that's what she wanted to do. And so working in the world of education, sports, all that ties together. Someone who deeply loved her Tennessee Volunteers as well. Had to wear pink for her today. And from what I understand, you wore pink drawers today. We just can't show anybody.
Well, they were red, but they faded. All right. So, did you hear the stat that she did at Sevier County about she went to 7th and 8th graders, and she said, if you graduate, I'll give you $5. You had to be a teammate, like you and I would team up together. If you graduate, I'll give you $500. If you don't, you don't get nothing. But both had to graduate. Like, if I graduated and you didn't, neither one of us got the money. The graduation rate, the dropout rate changed from 35% to 6%.
That's
because
wild.
they held each other accountable.
That's wild.
Because of that money that she was given. This was years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what she did. She gave incentive to do stuff. So the guys held each other accountable. They graduated. They got their $500. I know $500 didn't go a long ways today, but back then it went a long ways. But that's just little things like that. You hear those stories. By the way, last night, NBC and CBS, I know, did specials from 10 until 11. I'm not sure about ABC, but they changed their broadcast, whatever they had planned to broadcast that night, to do a special about Dolly Parton.
Well, I know on my way to school this morning, I had it on Mix 104.1. Listening to Mixed Mornings, and what did I get to enjoy listening to? Some music by Dolly Parton.
Yeah, it's been all over, or been on Mix, been on Oldies. So yeah, she's been all over the place, man.
Yeah, she's going to be missed. And I think back to specific events, the wildfires that took place up there in the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area a few years ago. She was extremely instrumental with helping finance that recovery, and she obviously does so much, has done so much for our area. She's going to be deeply missed.
No doubt about that.
So right now, I do believe it's time for my favorite segment, our Dadgum segment.
Dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
Dadgum. Dadgummit.
Dadgum.
Dadgummit.
Get in there and go to the goal line with a dadgum ball.
Daggone it and dad blame it. Dadgummit. No.
All right, this one really makes me mad, and I don't. Most of these dadgum segments aren't. They're just annoying.
You better be careful.
This one makes me mad.
Better be careful on this one, Jim.
Okay, and I work. This is an ESPN affiliate, so I get it, but I disagree with this. Okay, ESPN will be removing the bottom line ticker during college football games, and this is a statement by ESPN. By removing the bottom line during live action, we're creating a cleaner presentation that keeps the focus where it belongs, on the field. I'm sorry, that does not affect my viewing, but it keeps me up to date on scores going on across the country. I like the bottom line ticker. They're going to take that away, and
But Jim, you've got the ESPN Cleveland 101.3 app on your phone.
I do, but I don't like to have my phone around me when I'm watching the games. I like to just put the phone over to the side and watch the game, and I can see the scores on the ticker, and they're taking that away, and I'm not happy about it, man.
Yeah, and that's one thing, and I'm glad you clarified that it's during college football games, because I thought you were talking across the board.
Well, that's how that statement says there. It says during college football games. Maybe they're due to do it for all sports. I don't know.
If it's across the board, just when you're watching ESPN and it's gone, that'll be a sad day, because when that came on, I was actually watching the Rich Eisen special. This was Sports Center, and they talked about it's awesome. If you haven't watched it, gotta watch it. But they were talking about when that premiered, how big of a deal that was to have that bottom line ticker, putting out scores, putting out information as you were watching your favorite ESPN show or event in this matter. So it makes me feel a little bit better just to cushion the blow of this daggum segment that it's just going to be during games.
Right. Now, I will say this. The greatest improvement to televised football games is the first down line, the yellow line. When you go to a game and it's not there, you're like, man, I wish they could put a yellow line so you know where the first down marker is, because you got to find the first down marker and try to remember which line it's on. And when it's on a hash, it's not on like an actual line. But I love the yellow line. Love that. Now, I don't need the field goal range. You got to get here for field goal range. I don't need that. But the first down line, great invention, man.
Yeah, and I like having the field goal range marker too. Like, I think that's
it's okay, but I don't
like
need that. But the first down, I got to have that.
So it's funny you say that. I remember having a conversation with my son. He had to have been probably roughly 7-8 years old, and I took him to a game, and he said, I never realized that they didn't have that line on the field.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, and
funny.
Just as a little kid. But
okay, so I know we got just a little bit, but I want to do this one. The Stump Andy and Jacob segment, but Jacob's not here, so it's just Stump Andy. What is the largest city in the United States without an NFL franchise? Population proper, not metropolitan area, the largest city proper without an NFL franchise. And I'll tell you this, it's the 7th most populated city in the entire country. Don't Google it now.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. No, my computer is falling asleep. So
Elijah, you can jump in and give this one if you can think of that.
And it's the 7th largest city.
The 7th largest city in the United States. This is proper, not metropolitan area. The city proper does not have an NFL team.
So, like, I know the Cowboys are in Arlington. So, are we getting that nitpicky here?
No, that's considered
Metro?
Dallas. That's considered
Dallas metro area. Okay.
This area does not have it. It'd be like saying, Los Angeles doesn't have it. Whether in Inglewood, that's Los Angeles. So we're counting like East Rutherford is New York City.
So I have a few cities that immediately popped into my mind. I'm going to say St. Louis.
It's a good guess. That's not it.
Okay. Then the next city I was thinking, Oklahoma City.
Nope.
Those are two pretty solid guesses, Jim.
Yeah, they are.
What about Portland?
That's not one. That's a good guess.
Man, okay. So I'm thinking. So we're talking largest by population.
By population, this is city proper, not metropolitan area, but city proper.
Jim might have stumped Andy. I might have needed Jacob's help today. Let's talk about the city of Milwaukee.
Nope.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm throwing out some pretty big cities here.
And I'll tell you this city's never had an NFL team, so it's not like St. Louis has lost their team and other cities have maybe lost their team.
Is this one where I'm going to kick myself whenever you say it?
No, you'll say, I did not know that was the 7th largest city in the United States, is when you hear this.
Well, I feel like I might be dragging this on a little too long here already. Is it a city in the state of California?
No.
Okay, that helps me a little bit.
So that eliminates San Diego, that's where San Diego, Sacramento. I thought maybe those two cities might come up.
I was actually thinking Sacramento after you said that it couldn't be a city that formerly had a team.
That's right. So San Diego did have one.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say the city of Cincinnati.
Well, they actually.
They got the Bengals. My bad. I was thinking NBA for a second. Okay, let's go. Jim's got me all miscombobulated over here. What about?
It's not Columbus, Ohio either.
Yeah,
which is it's up there, by the way. Columbus is one of the bigger cities. I've never had one.
I feel like this is getting ugly, Jim. You got to help me out here a little bit.
All right, I'll give you the state. It's in the state of Texas.
Okay, so I had started kind of with the Dallas thing. San Antonio?
San Antonio is correct. Yeah. San Antonio, the 7th largest city in the United States, population-wise. They've never had an NFL team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, of course you didn't.
Yeah,
clearly. That's why I threw it.
Clearly, Andy was stumped today. There's no doubt about it.
So, yeah, San Antonio, 7th largest city. And yet you've got Milwaukee, which is like smaller than Chattanooga. They've got an NFL team.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Absolutely insane. But, yeah, so gotcha. Gotcha on this one, man.
So, what's the population of Milwaukee?
I'd have to look it up. It's like probably 400, 500,000. So San Antonio is 1.4 million people in the city.
So, are you factoring Green Bay into Milwaukee?
No, Green Bay's too far from Milwaukee.
Okay, I didn't know
Green Bay's way, way far away from Milwaukee.
Okay.
So
wow, that's unreal. Hey, by the way, did get a text here on the Warren and Griffin text line going back to Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
No one other than the Hall of Famer himself, Chief Bill Robertson, dated Dolly Parton. By the way, do you remember us having that conversation up there in Sevier County?
Yep, sure did. Yeah.
Yeah, Chief, as we all knew him as, just a legend. between Sevier County, Bradley County, but he would always tell a story that he dated Dolly Parton before she was Dolly Parton. And we were up there calling the playoff football game, Walker Valley, Sevier County.
They get the big plaque there honoring him. That was really cool.
That was neat. We were able to talk about it on this show as well, but yeah, of course, glad that was texted into the Warren and Griffin text line. Hey, with that, we are going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got to talk some Atlanta Braves baseball.
And we got Coach Moody.
Yeah, we've got Matt Moody, the head football coach of the Ooltewah Owls, joining the drive when we come back here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Cityscope Magazine. Beautiful, engaging, uplifting, inspiring. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day. Featuring businesses, sports, entertainment, the arts, homes, fashion, food, and more. Experience the beauty of stunning photography. Enjoy the stories of local men and women, the success of coworkers and friends. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax. It's sure to make your day. See us online or subscribe at cityscopemag.com. Cityscopemag.com. Cityscope Magazine. It's that time to relax and enjoy your day.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Assured Alarms here in Cleveland is locally owned and operated by Terry Buckner and Wesley Birchfield. They've been in business since 2004 and can design a new security, fire, and camera system specific to your needs. They're not a chain, they're not a franchise. They're your local alarm company. Call Assured Alarms today at 423-478-5222. That's Assured Alarms here in Cleveland, protecting you and your loved ones with Assured Alarms.
Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's beautiful moments on an equally beautiful composite deck. Envision's products feature deep, non-repeating grains and distinct colors throughout each pour, offering a truly unique appearance unlike anything else on the market. Learn more and find inspiration for your project at Cleveland Plywood. Cleveland Plywood Company, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland.
It's $1.50 Wing and Whiskey Wednesday at Aubrey's Cleveland.
From Chattanooga to Cleveland, Dalton to Benton, Builtwell Bank is growing strong. With 36 branches across 14 counties and 2 states, we're proud to serve our neighbors. Whether it's purchasing your first home, building your business, or planning for tomorrow, our team is here, right where you live, work, and play. Buy a branch, give us a call, or visit us online at builtwell.bank. Builtwell Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, and we are excited as we go back to talking some more high school football. We've got the head coach of the Ooltewah Owls on air with us, Matt Moody. Coach Moody, good to have you on with us.
Hey, Andy. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was able to chat with you a little bit at our media days presented by Life Care that we had a couple weeks ago, and the season has already snuck up on us. Matt, if you could just kind of talk about your program and where you guys are. Obviously, a big game coming into week 2, a historic matchup for Ooltewah with the Chattanooga Central Purple Pounders.
Yeah, look, I tell you, we're excited about this week, especially when you have a sour taste in your mouth from the previous week. It's always good to get back out there and play on Friday. It seems like that week, coming on after a loss or, a disappointment like that takes forever to get here. But, our guys have had a really great week of practice. I think that's a testament to the senior class that we have. And, those guys have put in a lot of hours in the off season and worked really hard to, try to get this thing moving in the right direction. So I know they're excited to get back out there on Friday and play. But we've had a great week of practice. Like I said, that's a testament to those guys. They focused in. It's always good when you can move on quickly from something like that and focus in on what's coming. Roster-wise, our numbers, we're made up of a lot of young guys. We've got, 77 players on our roster, and about 72% of those guys are freshmen, sophomores. So the senior leadership is really important from us, but those guys have done what we've asked them to do. And, fortunately for us, we've had a good week of practice, so we're excited about Friday.
So, Matt, I know I got a little ahead of myself talking about actual football, but since it's here, we just get so fired up talking about it. But if you could, I know a lot of our listeners know who you are, know your background, but for those that don't, obviously made the transition from McMinn Central, taking the head job at Ooltewah a couple of years ago. Prior to that, you were on Coach Damon Floyd's staff at Bradley. Just kind of talk about your background in football here in the area.
Yeah, so my first year actually ever, when I first started coaching, I was with Bo Cagle at McMinn County for 1 year. I graduated college. I was going back to school to get my teaching certification, and I was working at an insurance place there in Athens, and Bo let me volunteer for 1 year there at McMinn. And then a job came open there at Bradley as far as teaching goes, and Damon hired me, so I spent 8 years there. Listen, I can't tell you what I owe to that guy. I still talk to him probably 2 or 3 times a week, and the way that he believes in building a program and relationships being the number one with the kids. I can't thank him enough for the things that I learned in those 8 years at Bradley. And then I got fortunate and got a job at McMinn Central there for 4 years, and we were able to have a little bit of success there. And, Ooltewah, for me, it was a lot closer to home because I still lived in Cleveland. And, I say this all the time, in any career that you're in, whether it's in business, whether it's in coaching, whatever you do, there's always like a list maybe that you keep in the back of your head. Like, listen, if that position or job ever came open, that would be something that I would be interested in. And it just worked out, and I feel real fortunate and blessed to be able to be a part of this program now.
Coach, I saw 2 games this past weekend. We saw Walker Valley and Cleveland, saw Bradley and McMinn, and in both of those games, tons of turnovers, tons of penalties, and obviously all 4 coaches know that they've got to work on that. Was that happening in your game too?
We weren't really bitten by turnovers. When you go back and you watch the film, we played pretty solid, early on. We weren't really penalized much. We had, I think heading into the fourth quarter there, we had 2 penalties in the game and wound up, they're late. We got, I want to say it was 5 there late in the fourth quarter, but we played pretty sound, and we talked all week about the first week of the season. There's always, it's not about scheme or what you're doing because teams are going to probably make their most mistakes in week 1. But we played pretty sound. We just got to continue to grow, continue to work, and learn how to finish games, as a program, learn how to win those games, that we feel like, we should when we play the way we played. So, it wasn't really turnovers. It wasn't penalties. When you look back, it's just little things. We missed out on some opportunities we probably should have capitalized on. And but again, we're a work in progress. Our guys, I feel like, are bought in. So we've always said, I think I said it before, that we feel like we see the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. So some of these little things that we didn't take advantage of in week 1, hopefully we can do that moving forward to week 2.
Yeah, of course, that week 1 game against CCS, Chattanooga Christian, lost that game 34-28. Just looking at that final score and kind of knowing the story of Ooltewah football over the past several seasons, there's been some hills and valleys, more recently valleys, but to see a competitive score like that, knowing that your guys were that close to walking away with a W, what has been the locker room? What has the locker room been like with your team as far as knowing that you're that close to getting in the win column, especially heading into a week against a school like Chattanooga Central that there's a lot of history with?
Yeah, I think number one, I talked about our seniors earlier, and I'm sure you remember I talked a lot about these guys in media day, but I think they've done a really good job of holding the rest of the team accountable, making sure that those guys put it behind them and move forward. We obviously felt like we did enough things right to put ourselves in a position to win week 1. So it was frustrating for everybody, that we weren't able to close that out and get that done. But we preached all week. We're in this thing together. You go back and watch the film, you see a lot of strides that we have made from week 1 to week 2. That obviously the disappointing thing is, we didn't do what we needed to do to get the win, but we have made a lot of strides. And the fact that, we anticipated starting the season off on the right foot, and then when we didn't, the way that our guys have came to work this week after that disappointment, I think shows a lot. It's stuff that, people not inside our program get to see, but these guys are working hard and doing everything that we ask them to do, like I said, to get this thing moving in the right direction. So that's really good to see, from a coaching staff, seeing those guys work the way they work, and still believe that they're bought into what we're doing here and the process. And, that's what we're working towards, this week. Is like I told them, it's a focus on us. Doesn't matter who we play. What are all the things that we can do better this week that we didn't do good enough last week to get a win.
What are some of the concerns you have about Central? What do they do that might be an issue for you guys?
Well, Central is one of those teams that they're low on numbers, but they've got some athletes over there. And Coach Carter does a great job with those guys, and we've had some battles in the past. He had some really good teams back. I remember they had Ronye and said, I'm so glad they don't have Ronye back. That we saw enough of him for 2 years when I was at McMinn Central. But, they do a lot of good stuff. Defensively, they give you some different pressures and things like that. Those guys are athletic, and they do play hard when you watch them on film. He's got them motivated and getting after it on Friday. So we just got to make sure that we get out there and execute, focus, and take care of, what we can take care of.
Well, Coach Moody, I appreciate you calling in and talking with us, and definitely look forward to having you on again in the future, but I cannot let you go. Just a little backstory here, Me and Coach Moody, my buddy Matt, we go back a long ways, back to some Bradley Jr. football back in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we probably have more stories to tell, and maybe some that we shouldn't tell. I don't know, but
hey, listen, we can't forget the old the wrestling.
That's right. That's right.
When your dad did the wrestling program back in the day, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely a part of that as well. But I do want to ask you. I can't let you go without asking you this. What are the odds that we get your younger brother Joel maybe coaching some football in the future? A good player back in his day as well.
Well, listen, I never miss an opportunity to embarrass my brother when I can, and so he used to come up on the sidelines when I was at McMinn Central sometimes until there was one game that he was asked to leave by the referees, and so ever since then he yells from the stands. That's what he gets to do. So
I love it. So he's going to get mad at me and you both for calling him out on the radio. But,
that's right. I have to make sure he listens to this. He'll be good and embarrassed.
That's right. That's what we're here for. Coach Moody, head coach of the Ooltewah Owls, always glad to have you, glad to talk with you, and look forward to more potential interviews with you down the road this season.
Sounds great. Thanks, Andy. I really appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, good stuff there. Ooltewah head coach Matt Moody. Like I said, I've known Matt a long time, and He did a great job at McMinn Central getting that program back to a respectable place, and now seeing him do the same thing at Ooltewah. And he's a guy that is passionate and loves to coach football.
You know, he talked a little bit about Central, and he talked about the numbers being down there, and that's been an issue there at Central for the last 2 or 3 years.
They forfeited a playoff game.
Yes, they did. And that's heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a good school with a great history, and you hope that they can get things going and it's all about getting the student body to buy into football and getting more guys to participate and come out to play football. So maybe they can get things going. But that's when he said that, I got to thinking, you know, what do we get to see, like 20 guys running out on the field? I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, well, I do hope this. I hope Coach Moody and the Ooltewah Owls able to get into the win column this week against and I've kind of looked into this matchup today. There is a lot of history between Ooltewah and McMinn Central, at Chattanooga Central.
Yeah, the Purple Pounders, they've been around for, well,
long time.
100 years.
Long time.
Of course, they're not. The location they're at now is where they were always at. They used to be downtown.
Yeah.
They've been on where they're at now probably a good 40 years, maybe 50 years, you know, in their current location. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so with that, this is what I'm thinking, Elijah. You give me the thumbs up or the thumb down on this. We go to break. When we come back, we talk Atlanta Braves before we cut out for the day. Do we have one more break? If we don't have to, we can go straight into Braves.
Let's just keep going.
We've got them all in, all the breaks.
I was thinking we did.
Yes. Listen, I got to quit looking at this breaks that we have at the top of the sheet here.
Remember, 4 in the first hour, 3
That's
in
right.
the second.
That's why, Jim. Yeah. That's why we keep that gum around.
It's an uneven thing, yeah.
So, of course, all things Atlanta Braves here on The Drive and on ESPN Cleveland, sponsored by Mayfield Dairy. Shout out to our friends at Mayfield Dairy. By the way, enjoyed some of their ice cream last night. So, as we get into our Braves coverage, the Braves 77-55 overall record, first in the National League East, and that lead back up to 4.5 games, going in the right direction with a little help from our friends in Seattle. Mariners beat the Phillies last night, so that's 2 nights in a row. Seattle helping us out, and
the big dumper is going nuts against that pitching staff.
So at one point, he was one of the worst players on his team this season after having a record-setting season last year.
Cal Raleigh, we're talking about.
Yeah, and the big dumper has shown up for the Atlanta Braves while they're playing the Philadelphia Phillies again 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, 3 homers the first game, then another one last night. So yeah, he's coming through. Cal Raleigh. What do you 60 home runs last year?
It was up there. It was somewhere in that area.
I think it was this big 6-0. I think that's what he did last year. I'll look that up.
Yeah. So the Braves again with that 4.5 game lead over Philadelphia, but Atlanta definitely appreciates that help from the Mariners. And the Phillies continue their 9-game West Coast trip. And that couldn't come at a better time for Atlanta with the Phillies kind of closing the gap. Nice to have the Phillies out west on that road trip to hopefully they get a little jet lag and get a little bit more exhausted than they already are. But last night, the Braves claimed the W in the series opener against the Los Angeles Dodgers by a score of 4-3. And I want to talk about the starting pitching matchup for a second because these guys almost mirrored each other with their performance, but Bryce Elder for the Braves got the win. He went 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. But as I said, went toe-to-toe with Tyler Glasnow, who is one of those big arms on that Dodgers starting pitching rotation. Glasnow went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So very similar performances. The difference at the end of the day, back into the bullpen. The Atlanta Braves continue to do what they do when it comes to the bullpen, and that is completely dominate the opposition. Between Dylan Lee, Medeiros, Dodd, and Raciel Iglesias, who got his 28th save of the season, that back end of the bullpen, one of the best. I say this every day, and I'm going to say it every day until I'm proven wrong, if not the best back end of the bullpen in all of Major League Baseball. That is a recipe for success if you can have a little bit of offense. The starting pitching, Bryce Elder, this is a guy who looks like he's poised to make a postseason start.
You know, when the Braves and Dodgers play each other, and you look at the box score, you're thinking, all right, how many home runs were hit, how many doubles, triples? There was 1 extra base hit the entire night, and that was Matt Olson.
Yep.
And By the way, that was an interesting slide.
Oh my gosh!
Second base.
I think
that's
you could
gonna
call
be
it
on a highlight reel in the clubhouse, man.
Yeah, you could call it more of a belly flop than a slide, but
he got the only extra base hit. He scored the winning run and everything. But looked up Cal Raleigh's stats. This is unbelievable. All right, 2023, 30 homers. 2024, 34 home runs. 2025, 60 home runs. This year, 18.
Yeah.
And he's hitting his batting average 169.
And he's hit 4 of them in the past 2 days.
That's up to date. He was at 14 until the last couple nights. Yeah, from 60 homers to 18. Unbelievable drop-off.
Yeah, rough year for the big dumper. I hope he keeps it up as they're playing the Phillies again tonight.
Yeah.
So all kind of turning into Mariners fans for the time being. But going back to that Braves game last night, you had mentioned that slide there by Olsen, that belly flop. First of all, Matt Olsen comes in huge in clutch situations. Take that guy at first base over anybody, which on a separate note, Freddie Freeman went 0 for 5 last night, just to put that out there. But Drake Baldwin, Matt Olsen, and Ozzie Albies each had 2 hits in the game. Albies with that go-ahead RBI scoring Olsen there late in the game. But Money Mike and our guy Dubon, who is now an everyday starter with Jim Jarvis being sent back down. Mm-hmm. He's the shortstop on this team, which I'm a big fan of that move. I like Jim Jarvis, but he's got a long future ahead of him. That future doesn't start right now when you've got a guy playing like Mauricio Dubon. But him and Money Mike each had an RBI on the night as well. So a solid game against a Dodgers team that, what did I say, Jim, coming into this series, how many games you got to win against the Dodgers?
You said 2 out of 3.
You got to get 2, and you've got one of them out of the way.
And that was the biggest one, was first game.
Yes. So, again, tonight, Braves play Game 2 of the 7-game homestand, Game 2 of 3 against the Dodgers, who, by the way, 80-52 first in the NL West with a 9.5-game lead over the San Diego Padres. But we'll talk a little bit more about the series coming up against Colorado and San Francisco. But right now, we just get one more out of the next 2, and Braves are sitting in a good position, especially if the Phillies continue to struggle out west. But on the mound tonight for the Braves, A.J. Smith-Shawver making only his 2nd start since his return from the IL. He's got an 0-0 record with a 6.23 ERA, and he's taking on, you want to say this name or do you want me to say it, Jim?
You say it.
Roki Sasaki.
Sounds like a Japanese dish that I'd get at a restaurant.
Not sake, Jim. Sasaki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Roki Sasaki. He's 5-5 with a 4.42 ERA. First pitch is at 7:15. You'll be able to catch the game right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Also on Mix 104.1. No pre and post game tonight on ESPN because, of course, right after this show, we've got the fastest hour in NASCAR radio, Finish Line Radio, coming on. So definitely tune into those guys. Every day when I leave on Wednesdays, every single Wednesday, I get in the car. It's already on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, and Jamie Kyle says something that makes me laugh every single day. So not only is he entertaining and funny, but very knowledgeable about NASCAR. Him and that crew do a great job on Finish Line Radio, so stay tuned here on ESPN Cleveland after our show, again, for Finish Line Radio. But Braves coverage tonight. Again, 7:15 first pitch on Mix 104.1 and ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
By the way, a little interesting little tidbit here. In the formal SEC president's vote today to confirm the penalties and the legislation involving banning NFL players, the vote for the SEC ended up being 15-0. LSU abstained from voting. That was interesting because I'd heard it was a 16-0 vote, but apparently it was 15. And LSU decided, to abstain from it. I saw a fun little thing. I think they said one of the penalties would be like make LSU play all their home games in the daytime. Could you imagine?
No night games at LSU?
That would be nuts.
And while we're at it, let's make them wear their purple uniforms at home. And put that rule in place, as we talked about that the other day. But
I thought that was interesting. They abstained from the vote. The LSU president abstained from the vote. That is interesting.
Hey, on cue, we're talking to Finish Line Radio. Got a message from your dad, by the way, just now. Jamie Kyle shot me a message saying that just so everyone is aware that Saturday night is the regular season finale for NASCAR. And it will set the new Chase standings. So if you get an opportunity today, make sure you tune in to Finish Line Radio as they set the stage for that season finale.
Yeah, so I'm listening to NASCAR. It's a long season, but the chase begins the next after this race here. So yeah, interesting stuff, interesting times, good stuff there in the world of NASCAR.
So how are we doing on time? We're at 5:55 right now. We got about 2 minutes. All right, Jim.
By the way, you get to tell everyone about the NFL as far as their All-Star game.
I'm so glad I already forgot. So we do actually have some real-time breaking news. The NFL has officially eliminated the Pro Bowl game. No more Pro Bowl game. Converting the honor into a pure individual performance award with no further games or alternatives. So, unfortunately, what we once knew as the Pro Bowl in Hawaii at Aloha Stadium.
Loved it. I used to love that game, man.
It was a fun weekend with all the festivities and everything going on. But year by year, and I understand the whole injury thing, the NFL is the most physical all-star game. The Pro Bowl is the most physical all-star game of any sport. I understand. I get the reasoning behind it. But year by year, this wasn't just all of a sudden. This has been a slow death by paper cut type situation.
It became laughable to sit there and go, like, this is what they're doing now. And before they did what they were currently doing, basically playing flag football, they were playing almost like flag football in Hawaii. They weren't tackling. They weren't trying. They were, basically, it looked like. Well, I'm not going to say it. A bunch of girls up there. That's what I should. I should have said that, but I just said it, didn't I? But it was embarrassing.
Don't make me call Inez Cantor Freedom. Don't make me get him on. Hey, do you think we could land him on the show?
If you got a way to get in touch with him, yeah, sure we could. I'm sure that would be interesting.
Hey, we made a deal that we weren't going to bash the WNBA today, so
I hope any lady out there didn't. You know what I meant. They didn't look like NFL football players. It looked like youth football.
On that note, Jim, you just did us in. We were doing good. We need Slim Money Mason back to keep us in line. Yeah. You've been listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always a fun show for Jim Gum. I'm Andy Morris. Andy Morris, along with Elijah on the board for us, taking care of us. He is now going to send you over to Finish Line Radio here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Have a great day, everybody.
The Tennessee Valley's exclusive home for ESPN Radio, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland